guys, so welcome to my channel. See your own boy MC Bernardino. Welcome to this channel where I always tell you about Canada immigration. For the latest information about Canada immigration news, come to this channel. As far as it's legitimate, I will always give it to you guys. Kudos to you guys. Thank you very much guys for coming back to this channel. Every time I drop a video, for sharing my video, for hitting the thumbs up button, for dropping comment in the comment section down below. Kudos to you guys. Thank you so much. But at the same time, there are some of you guys that come to this channel, view my content, but don't want to subscribe. Why don't you want to subscribe? Kindly subscribe to this video now. Take you just 1 second. Subscribe to this channel, and there's a notification button right beside it. Hit the notification button so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. Thank you. All right. Based on the video I did the last time on Saskatchewan provincial nominee, which people received so well because that's what they want. So many people are in the Federal Express Entry pool below the score of 450 that they did the last time. They are seeking way out to migrate to Canada. So based on that, I'll be dropping another video today on another province. You want to know which province? That's why you have to hang on tight. All right, don't forget how I think about this segment where I always drop it deep. It hits you hard and you act on it. Till I come back, you guys hang on tight.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Yes, before I go into what I have for you today, let me quickly run through the disclaimer like I always do. I'm not a licensed lawyer. I'm not a consultant. I'm just giving you this information based on out of my own volition, based on my own research, subject to my own opinion. I'm not asking for any penny from anybody, right? I know information is very important, and information needs to be given and received at when due. If anybody don't get the information as at when due, they might have to regret it forever. And that's why I'm bringing this information to you freely. And don't forget, if you want to make your own immigration decision, guys, don't subject it just to this video alone. You're free to do your own additional research. I'm just here to guide you. All right, let's roll it. Welcome back, guys. Just before I get into this topic of discourse today, I really want to appreciate you guys because now we have over 500 YouTube subscribers. Kudos to you guys. It's all because of you. A few months ago when I started this channel, I never envisaged that by now I will have over 500 subscribers. It's not my glory, it's just because of you guys. Congratulations. One love, guys. Thank you very much. Okay, we can actually get to 600 before the end of May. We can do it. The last time we did it, we can do it again. So tell one, tell your friend, tell your neighbor, tell your enemy, wherever. Let us get to 600 subscribers on this Canada immigration channel with MC Bernardino. All right, let's go straight to the topic of discourse. Today, I'll be telling you about the Nova Scotia nominee program. Yes, why am I bringing this to you guys? I'm bringing it to you especially for those that are outside Canada. You have been in the Express Entry pool for a long time. You have been probably waiting when is the score going to drop and the rest of them like that. There are some provinces that you can actually apply to, and if you're qualified, if you submit your application, through that you can get into Canada through permanent resident, and you'll be happy about that. That's why I'm bringing this video. It's more geared towards those that are outside Canada. Okay, so let me give you a background of what Nova Scotia is all about. Nova Scotia is one of the 13 provinces in Canada. It's on the Atlantic. It's 2 hours away from Ontario. The population of Nova Scotia is close to 1 million as of 2018. The capital is Halifax. The Nova Scotia nominee program was actually designed for bringing in people into Nova Scotia to work, to settle down, and to increase the population and the community economic development of Nova Scotia. That is why it was designed. So let me quickly give you a rundown of how it works in Nova Scotia nominee program. So it's in 2 parts. We have category 1, which is category A as case may be, and category B. You see, the category A is more designed towards those that are in Canada. That means, or if you're outside Canada and you have a valid job offer from any employer in Nova Scotia. I know it can be very daunting, it can be very challenging, especially for those that are outside, to get an employment from outside Canada. So that's why I will not be wasting much of my time talking about the category A. But the main one, the one I want to tell you about is category B, which is just having experience a full-time, 1 year full-time experience. It could be full-time, it could be part-time, but you have a minimum of 1,560 hours experience in some occupations that are in demand in Nova Scotia. This is more like similar to the one I told you about in Saskatchewan, because there are some occupation lists that are in demand. Same thing in Nova Scotia too. If you have a minimum of 1,560 hours, full-time or part-time, experience in some of this occupation. I'll be telling you about this list later. If you have it, then you can apply for the Nova Scotia nominee program category B. So I'll be giving you more information about that. So who are those that are eligible for this? So what are the minimum requirements for this? The minimum requirements for this are: 1, you need to have the educational credential assessment done by West, by ICAS. I've done so many videos on that, so you might want to check it out. So whatever credentials you have coming from abroad, outside Canada, you need to be assessed by West, that's World Education Service, or ICAS, University of Toronto. They will help you to evaluate it and bring it up to standard with the Canada level. Another requirement again will be, like I tell you, you need skilled experience, minimum of 1,560 hours full-time within the last 10 years in order for you to qualify. So the experience in those occupation lists must be within the last 10 years, minimum of 1 year in order for you to qualify. And also the CLB for the English or French test should be a minimum of CLB 7. If you have CLB 7, then you are qualified to apply for the Nova Scotia nominee program category B. So I need to also tell you that this particular program, the nominee program, Nova Scotia, it's linked with the Express Entry. As against the Saskatchewan one that I told you is not linked, this particular one for Nova Scotia is linked, meaning that you need to create your profile in the Express Entry. You need to have your profile number, you need to have your job code in order for you to qualify for the Nova Scotia provincial nominee. So don't be perturbed, even if you have a lesser score. If your score is 300, 350, early 400, whatever, all you need is the profile number in order for you to apply for this Nova Scotia nominee program. So let me quickly run through the occupations that are in demand in Nova Scotia for you to apply in the category B that I just told you about. So you're looking at jobs like financial auditor and accountant, which is NOC 111, and you're looking at other financial officers, so it's NOC 1114. Professional occupation in advertising, marketing, and public relations, which is NOC 1123. The fourth one will be administrative assistant, which is NOC 1241. The fifth one is accounting technician and bookkeeper, which is NOC 1311. The sixth one will be civil engineers, which is NOC 2131. Don't forget, civil engineer is also in demand in Saskatchewan. So if you're a civil engineer, this is for you. The seventh one will be registered nurse and registered psychiatric nurses, which is NOC 3012. The eighth one will be licensed practical nurses, which is NOC 3233. The eighth job in demand in Nova Scotia would be the ninth one will be college and other vocational instructor, which is NOC 4021. The 10th one will be paralegal and related occupation, which is NOC 4211. And the last but not the least is social and community service worker, which is 4212. So if you have experience in this field, you can get a letter from your employer that says that you have worked in any of these positions for a minimum of 1 year within the last 10 years. What are you waiting for? Why not apply for the Nova Scotia nominee program? It's actually there for you. You can just go into it. So now let me tell you about how as the point assessment, because it is done on a point assessment base. So the minimum you need to have is 67 over 100. Don't forget, in my last video when I told you about the Saskatchewan nominee program, I told you that the minimum you need to have is 60 over 100. But as the case of Nova Scotia, the minimum you need to have is 67 over 100. So let me quickly run through the breakdown for you to understand how the points accumulate. So now let's look at the selection factor. The first one, for your education, the maximum you can have is 25 points. When you talk about your ability in English and your French, talking about your Ielts, the maximum you can get is 28. And when you look at for your work experience, the maximum you can have is 15 points. Don't forget, the minimum you need to have is 1 year. The more years you have, the better chances you have. For the fourth one, which is the age, the maximum you can get is 12. And when we look at arranged employment in Nova Scotia, the maximum you can get is 10. What that simply means is that if you can get an employer in Nova Scotia that gives you an employment letter, then you can get additional 10 points. And let's talk about adaptability. Adaptability is basically telling you about, have you studied in Nova Scotia before? Have you worked in Nova Scotia before? Do you have a family, immediate family in Nova Scotia? If you can prove that, then you can get 10 for adaptability. So everything comes together to make 100. So based on the information you put into the system, if you can get 67 minimum over 100, then you are good to go. You submit your application and it will be reviewed, and if you're so lucky, you will be nominated. Yes, viewers, I need to quickly tell you this, that the Nova Scotia nominee program is highly competitive. When I say it's highly competitive, it is not open all through the year like the other provinces, like the Saskatchewan provincial nominee. So the Nova Scotia one is highly competitive. It's not open all through the year. So they only open it for a particular duration, and within 5, 10, 20 minutes or 1 hour maximum, there are a lot of applications that must have been received, because people are always waiting for the Nova Scotia nominee program. So what am I going to advise you is that after getting this information, do your own additional research. Go online. I will tell you how you go about the application process, but you need to have everything readily on ground, so that, because probably before they open it, they will give like a 1 or 2 days notice that it will be open on a so date at a particular time. So you are also looking out for that and getting ready for it. So let us go through the application process. How do you go about it now? If you feel that you have a minimum of 1 year in the occupational list that I just provided, I'll be linking it down below so you can also see it. And you know that you have CLB 7, and also you have your ECA, which is your result assessed by ICAS or West. What are you waiting for? So how do you go about it? So you just simply go to the Nova Scotia online website, and you have to go there, create a profile. Don't forget I told you that in order for you to apply for this, you need to have created an express entry profile, and you need to have your job validation code in order for you to do the Nova Scotia nominee program. So after creating your profile, you put in all the information. They ask you to put some documents, you upload them, everything, you put it online, and you submit your application. So after submitting your application, they will review your application. They review your application to see the completeness of your application, the validity of your application. If they are not convinced, they might ask you to provide some additional documents. You submit them, and after due period, they will get back to you. If you are so lucky and you are nominated, you have a minimum of 30 days to accept your nomination. So you have to look out for that. Put your email, make sure that you're always by your phone. When you get your email, you have a duration of 30 days to accept the nomination that must have been given to you. So if you accept that, then the next thing will be that Nova Scotia, they will send you the provincial nomination certificate, and they will send your information to the express entry at the federal level. Don't forget that province is more like the state, so they send it to the federal level, nominating you for permanent residence. So when they nominate you for the permanent residence at the federal level, all you need to simply do again is to submit all the same document that you must have submitted. The federal level, they reveal it, and if you are successful, you are coming into Canada on a permanent resident base. And what are the reasons why you could be refused? For you to be refused, it's either they discover that there are some fraudulent information they send in your application and you cannot prove it. You might be refused because of that. Another reason why you might be refused could be because that the 30 days they gave you for you to accept the nomination, it passed by and you didn't accept it. You might also be refused because of that. So, points of note, guys, you need to make sure that all the information that you put into the system are valid. No falsification, because any misrepresentation can actually lead to minimum of 5 years ban from Canada. You don't want to just shoot yourself in the leg. So guys, you need to make sure that you do due diligence, put everything in place in order for you to migrate to Canada seamlessly and selflessly without any hassle. In summary, people, I feel that the Nova Scotia nominee program is actually another avenue for for people to migrate to Canada, especially if you are outside Canada. I know it can be very daunting. I've been in the pool before whereby I was waiting for the draw to drop down and I keep waiting, right? So all you have to do, because virtually on a day-to-day basis, I receive calls from people, I receive messages on my WhatsApp, on my Twitter, on my Instagram, people commenting in the videos that I've done in the past, asking me, how can I migrate to Canada? I know it can be very daunting, especially when age is not on your side. As far as education, there's no way you can actually get masters. It has to take a process, right? Minimum of 1 year or additional degree, whatever. So I know those can be very daunting. Most times what I always tell people is that your Ielts, you need to score more. I know it's not so easy. It's easier said than done. I know some people try their best, burn out the candles just to make sure, but the scores are not just adding up. I know this can be very daunting. That is why I always tell you guys that the provinces there, the provincial nominee, are other routes where you can actually migrate to Canada. I know numerous people that have been to Canada, that have arrived in Canada, that are permanent residents in Canada now. They came in through the nominee program. So I'm just saying this, that you don't have to just continue to waste your time in the express entry. Look through the provincial nominees. If you have not seen my video on the Saskatchewan provincial nominee, you can actually check the link in my videos, in this video down below rather. You will see it there. This one I've done again. Do your due diligence, submit your application. You can actually come into Canada through these provinces. Canada, everywhere is Canada, right? So everybody can be in Ontario, everybody can be in British Columbia. Anywhere you are in Canada is better than wherever you're coming from. So do your due diligence and everything will work out fine for you guys. Let's go into the Think About It segment where I always drop it deep, it hits you and you act on it. So I want to believe that you enjoyed the video today that I did on Nova Scotia nominee program. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, share the video with your loved ones. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel. If you have any question, if you have any concern, anything you want to ask me about on this video, on the previous videos that I've done in the past, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And like I always do, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so everything that I've talked about based on Nova Scotia nominee program, how you can apply, the guidelines, how you do about it, I'll be linking it down in this video so you can actually see it and do your own verification, do your own research, and everything will work out fine for you. So let us go to the Think About It segment. So in today's Think About It segment, I'll be giving you a quote based on Nova Scotia license plate. So what does it say? Nova Scotia license plate simply says Canada's Oceans Playground. So don't forget, when I started this video, I told you that Nova Scotia is on the Atlantic, so it's nearer to the sea. So as far as fishing, those are thriving businesses there. Any fishing business is thriving in Nova Scotia. So you want to explore Nova Scotia. If you like the ocean, you like nature, those are places you want to visit. Till I come back to you guys, I still remain my humble self, MC Bernardino. Stay out of crime, stay out of trouble, and keep grinding. Canada is for us all.